TowerBorne. It's on Game Pass, it's on Steam, it's on probably PlayStation. Probably? I think so. I gotta double check that one though. I don't remember off the top of my head. It is a fantasy style side scroller, very similar to the idea of Rotwood, where it's more of that mission oriented thing, but as Rotwood goes for a roguelike aspect of hunting down a certain enemy while you're in the woods, this goes for more of a RPG kind of exploration vibe. Also, like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Join Discord. That's here too. Thanks for being here. Comment below. Thanks for being here. Comment that below. Thanks for being here. Goodbye. This is the beginning of the video. I'm doing this at the end. Sometimes I'm a little fucking stupid. It's 6 in the morning. Leave me alone. Quick story cap. You are a member of a group of protectors of the tower. The tower is the TowerBorne. You're not born from the tower. You're born from the Mirror Man. I don't remember why. I can't tell you off the top of my head. The original city fucking exploded. It is your job to fight back against the enemies that are attacking you, which consist of goblins, furries, and mushrooms. And probably some other shit. But by the time you get to there, I think you're taking the fight to them. You got 4 classes, a sword and a shield, a mallet of sorts, it's called a torch, but it's definitely just a fucking hammer, a rock, fist, big gloves, Mr. Hands kind of type of shit, not that Mr. Hands, and the daggers, which is your Hot Topic employee kind of shit. If you're using daggers, you're not using them for the skills. You're using them so you can stand like this. Which one's the strongest? Definitely the Torchbearer. That's the one I use through most of the game. It has the longest range out of anything in the game. And is just unbelievably powerful for how fast it can move. I will say that I don't think it matters at all because this game has a massive difficulty issue. You guys think the gameplay of this game gets any more advanced than what I'm doing?
You're not even doing anything, so no.
I'm just holding one button, just endlessly. I'm the Hello Earthling.
250 more for
I am rubbing my testicles and making love to your fingers.
Don't say you're not enjoying it.
I can see you are smiling. After tutorial and a bit of time in the tower, I was dropped into the world map where you can select what mission you want to do. And throughout this, you have your real missions and you have your fake missions. And I'm just going to be real, do as little fake missions as physically possible. These missions consist of like exploration kind of ideas, so when you do it, you kind of get these hexagons open so you can continue forward to the next areas. The issue is that a lot of them are mind-numbingly easy. And generally that's an issue with the whole game. I think everything in the game is just way too easy. I'm not one to min-max at all. I just kind of threw shit in and maybe upgraded my weapon if I felt like it was decent enough to get a little bit of an upgrade to it. And I don't think I ever got close to dying once in the whole game, especially with a 5 starting Estus flask kind of system, with a 6th one you get pretty early on. I think throughout every exploration mission I did, I maybe used 1 Estus ever, if I can even remember correctly. And in the main missions, which have usually a boss at the end, I think the most I used was 2, because I directly decided to face fuck the boss to death, because I was too lazy to start dodging. Throughout the first area, you get 2 different kinds of enemies. You get these like lizard guys who come in green, blue, and red, if I remember correctly. And they can all have different weapons and whatnot. Some have daggers, some have like bows, and some have bombs, I think are your 3 varieties. The colors basically focus on their difficulty, which green being the easiest and red being the hardest. And when you get a little later, you get another kind of enemy, who are these kind of furry people. I don't really know what they're called, I don't remember. And they are literal copies of the lizard guys, and that's it. They even have the 3 colors and everything. It's literally the exact same kind of enemies. These are your enemies that you'll fight through most of the grassland kind of spots. And if you're somebody who likes exploring like I do, you will do a lot of these 10 to 15 long minute missions to just kind of get these enemies over and over again and hope for better loot. When I finally did reach a different area, which was the swamp area, the only altercation I got was that there were mushrooms that exploded, and then the same enemy showed up again, and it was that. it was more of the same. I feel like the best way to describe this game is that it's stuck in some middle ground. Like, if they were to go in and you doubled the enemy spawn, doubled or maybe tripled it, honestly, and you made it more of this like giant wave clear kind of system where everyone had a bunch of AoE attacks and it was part of the dopamine and was just like sweeping a bunch of fucking enemies at once, then I think it'd be cool. Or if they doubled down and triggered it so like red enemies were like the weakest and then they went higher than that, so they upped the health and the damage of everything and actually made it more effective to actually want to dodge, I feel like then the difficulty would be able to carry it. But instead it's this like middle ground where you kind of have this like baby's first side-scroller kind of feel to it, and I don't like describing it like that, but it really does feel like baby's first side-scroller. And locking your missions behind reaching them on the world map is just kind of very boring with the lack of variety when it comes to your exploration missions, because a lot of them kind of come out to the same idea. Maybe there's defense here and there, but the enemy variety just doesn't carry it long enough, especially through how long you make people go through them, unless you're, as I said, beelining towards the next missions. On the other hand, there's a lot of positives with this game. I think the game looks satisfying. I think it has a really cool art style when it comes to your characters and the world around you. I think the main hub is pretty interesting, although a little large for how little of it I feel like you use. Like, there's a giant left side that doesn't really do anything, but it's there. It's the only side that really mentions that it's a tower, because you can't really tell unless you're standing on like the balcony over there. I think the weapons all have unique styles and different abilities you can get with them. The skill trees are quite advanced, and the building for gear is actually pretty decent for statistics-wise and random rolls and whatnot. I think it can be a little bit monotonous at times, nothing on the scale of like super highly specific stat boosts and things like that, but it can be a little annoying to see what random rolled stats you can get, and I don't know if the numbers fluctuate a whole lot. Maybe they do. I didn't spend enough time digging into them because of what I was able to play, so maybe there's a little bit of fluctuation that I don't know of. If that's the case, it could be a little annoying, but if you like to min-max, there's that option for you. To compare it to Rotwood, which is something I talked about a couple months back, it has the same idea of variety with the weapons and whatnot, although I do believe Rotwood did it a lot better, just because of its actual massive difference between weapons, as they won't even work the same way. Like, weapons don't even attack the same in that game. And I think overall that's where the game kind of fails for me, is that it is a game with a lot of style and a lot of creativity, and a lot of interesting ideas when it comes to builds and armor statistics and how armor looks. I think a lot of the cosmetics and armor stuff is very cool, and it's very generous with their weird battle pass system, giving you a lot of free options even without game pass bonuses or anything like that. It gives you like 2 or 3 of them completely for free, which is very nice of it. There's games that are able to focus on these ideas a lot more than they are. If you want something to go kill bosses, play Rotwood. If you want more of a story or exploration kind of game, something like River City Girls is a great option. I've heard the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games were phenomenal. I mean, there is a lot of games in this kind of genre that you can work with that have a lot of mechanics that are very similar to this. And for going for this kind of middle ground side-scroller beat-em-up that is meant to be open to everyone to be able to play, from people who are masters in the field to people who are super young and need a really, really easy game, it has a hard time doing anything particularly amazing for itself. It's hard to say anything really sucks other than enemy variety. I think enemy variety and exploration, those both kind of suck. But beyond that, everything else is like fucking decent across the board. I mean, it's all well made. It doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel tossed together because someone wanted a quick buck kind of idea. It feels like there was some passion behind it. It just doesn't feel like it had its niche picked out yet. And there are still ways that they can completely change it. Maybe lowering or hiring different difficulties could be better. Have some more options when you go into missions early on, so you can avoid having that super slow and boring beginning of the game. Which would be actually kind of easy, because they do have a difficulty slider, but it's locked behind a gear score, which kind of avoids the idea of it being a difficulty slider. Or better yet, carve out your own niche for it. How about a achievement heavy game? Something on the lines of Payday, or I don't know, Helldivers, no, Darktide, that's the one I'm thinking of. Have a game built around a system of achievements and whatnot that are cosmetic related. So the challenge comes from these kind of ideas that you want to do specifically as a player, instead of the challenges directly posed by the game. So you have a boss with multiple different ways to kill it, and by doing so you can get cosmetic badges, things like maybe like a house thing if they add like a house system, because players can always make their own difficulty, and by encouraging that and supporting it, it gives people a reason to go to your game. It gives people a reason to strive for this idea, or get their friends together to do an achievement that needs more than one person. You see the achievement grind thing used a lot more recently nowadays to keep people engaged when it comes to things like Dark Tide, Sea of Thieves, Payday. Payday's an older one, but you get my fucking point. Because a lot of them can encourage replayability, and it also encourages people to want to make things challenging for themselves, so you can keep a easy early game and a super hard game, or a super easy hard game. It wouldn't matter because people would make their own challenges out of it, the ones that you dictate through your own achievements. And just like that, you made your own niche. It sits all together. It works well. Good job. You fucking did it. You can get a very good score on Steam instead of a very good score. Okay, but maybe with more people. You already have a very good one, which I think is a great way of explaining it. Very positive. 600 people play. You ever have those moments where you feel like you're being too harsh on an indie development company because you could see potential in it, and there's just some things that you feel like they did because they wanted the ability to do the grind, and then they did the grind and it wasn't very interesting? Because I do feel like if they were to cut some of these out and focused on smaller ones instead, it could have done a lot for the game. Maybe there's something there that I'm not thinking of, but it could be cool. Next time, I shall be talking about a Souls game. The time after that, I'll be talking about a Dead game. And the time after that, maybe I'll reach Expedition 33. But for now, thank you guys for being here. Subscribe if you want. Very much appreciated. I still need to play Pizza Tower, but I don't think I'll review that one. That's just something I want to play. No, I'm not playing Crunker. Don't ask me anymore. If you guys have any questions, put them in Discord. Put them in the comments. Put them anywhere. I'll find them. I'll find you. No, I won't. That's a joke. I promise. I really do promise. Yeah.